So now we are going to discuss the topic of velocity and acceleration of the flowing fluid under the this topic of kinematics of fluid flow. Till now we have discussed the topic of fluid statics, in which we considered the fluid which is stationary and the forces acting on it. Now we are going to discuss the kinematics, in which we will not be discussing the forces which are acting on the fluid and only the motion, that is velocity and acceleration of the fluid, and also we will discuss the types of the fluid. So velocity and acceleration of the fluid, in this we have to calculate the acceleration of the fluid, and suppose the flow is three-dimensional and also varying with time. So it means that u is a function of x, y, z and t in space. If it is two-dimensional, it means that u will be a function of x and y. One dimension, u will be only a function of either of these three, that is u is equal to fx. If it is steady flow, then it will not be a function of time. This I have discussed previously also, and we will be discussing the types of flow in a separate video also. So u, that is the velocity component of the fluid. So this is equal to this. Suppose let me take this as v in place of u. V is the total velocity of the fluid at any time. It is having three components. I can write v is equal to ui plus vj plus wk. u, v, w are the components of the velocity v in three directions. Suppose if I have the fluid flowing like this, so this is the streamline. Remember that the streamlines may be parallel lines, or they may be curves having same curvature, or they may be converging or diverging, and they all show different types of flows. So this is the streamline. These are streamlines during a flow. If I draw the tangent at any point to the streamline, it shows the velocity of the flow. So this is velocity vector v, having three components along x, y and z direction, u and v and w, and the total vector is this v. So u, v, w, they are also the functions of space at time, x, y, z and t. So we can write the acceleration. So the acceleration of the flowing fluid can be written as equal to, say in x direction, first I want to write du divided by dt. So I will have to write the equation for exact differential of u with respect to time, which is a function of space and time. So this is del u by del x multiplied by dx by dt plus del. Similarly, you have to write the expression for the other terms, del u by del y into dy by dt plus del u by del z dz by dt, and the next term, that is with respect to time, so I can write this as equal to del u by del t into dt by dt. So this becomes acceleration in x direction. Now what does this mean? This is velocity in x direction, this is velocity in y direction, this is velocity in z direction. So this is u, v and w. So this becomes u del u by del x plus v del u by del y plus w del u by del z plus del u by del t. Similarly, we can write the terms for y at z direction acceleration. So this I can write equal to u. Now here we will be writing del v, because in y direction velocity is v. So v is a function of x, y, z and t. I am talking about this small v. This is total velocity. This is in x direction, y and z direction. So u del v by del x plus v, let me write this as small v, del v by del y and The third term is w, del u by del v by del z plus del v by del t into w. So this is the expression for acceleration in y direction. Similarly, I can write the expression for acceleration in z direction, and this is equal to u del w by del x plus v. This is small v everywhere. I am writing this because so that there is no confusion between this small v and this capital. Del w by del y plus w del w by del z plus del w by del t. Now, in these terms, there are three terms, that is one in each, this, and this, which is varying with respect to time, and other terms except these three, they are varying with respect to space. So the terms which are varying with time, del u by del t, del v by del t, and del w by del t, these are known as the local acceleration. These three terms are known as the local acceleration, whereas the rest terms are known as convective acceleration. Convective acceleration, that is the acceleration with respect to, or the change in velocity with respect to space, x, y, and z. So the terms except these three, this term, and this term, these three are local acceleration. Sorry, the local acceleration, yes. Whereas the other terms, these terms, with respect to, which shows the change in velocity with respect to space, they are called the convective acceleration. And the total acceleration is given by A is AXI plus AYJ plus AZK. So this is how we can write the expression for acceleration of a flowing fluid. Now if we have a steady flow. So what happens in a steady flow? I have discussed this previously also. The change in properties with respect to time, flow properties, that is velocity and pressure, density, etc. with respect to time is zero. It means that for the steady flow, velocity will not be dependent upon time. So acceleration also will not be changing with respect to time. So in case of steady flow, these terms 1, 2, 3, local acceleration will be 0. So in steady flow, local acceleration is 0. So only in case of steady flow, only the convective acceleration is existing. So this is the expression for calculating the acceleration of a flowing fluid. Now after this, we will be doing some questions to know how we actually find these values. Now let me explain what is the physical importance of curl, physical significance of curl. So we have explained what is curl, now its physical significance, then we will discuss the rotational flow. Now suppose a particle is rotating along this circular path, this is the path, and it is having a velocity v at any time at any point p, which is having coordinates x, y, z, with respect to this origin or the fixed point O, which we have taken lying on the axis of this rotational path. Now we know that as per this rule, right hand thumb rule, the velocity is in this direction. If you see it from vertically downwards, the velocity is anti-clockwise, so it means that the angular velocity omega will be pointing upwards towards me. If I see it like this, it will be towards me. So omega is the angular velocity, and suppose it is having the components as we discussed previously, omega xi plus omega y j plus omega z. Okay. Or you can also write them as omega 1, omega 2, omega 3. That is immaterial. They are the components of omega in the three directions. And remember that p is tangential to this path. So the velocity can be written as v equal to omega cross. Because you know here the linear velocity is, this is v is perpendicular to this plane containing omega and vector r. OP is vector r. So omega is like this and r is like this. So v is a vector which is perpendicular to both. So we have written, it means that this angle should be 90. So v is equal to omega cross r, and r here is xi plus yj plus zk. So now let us calculate v, omega cross r, I, j, k, omega 1, omega 2, omega 3, and r is x, y, z. So this is equal to omega 2z minus omega 3y into I plus j will be omega 1z minus this with minus sign. So if I write a plus sign here, this is omega 3x minus omega 1z j plus omega 1y minus omega 2x k. This is the value of linear velocity vector v, and the curl is given by, curl v is grad cross v, and if you calculate the curl I, j, k, I will write it here. Del by del x, del by del y, del by del z, and v. These components, omega 2z minus omega 3y second term is omega 3x minus omega 1z and k del by del z. Third term is omega 1y minus omega 2x. So if you calculate this, you will find that this is equal to I into del by del y of this. So del by del y of this is omega 1 only, as this is a function of x. So omega 1 minus del by del z of this. So this will be minus omega 1. So this will be plus omega 1 plus j del by del z of this omega 2 and minus del by del x of this. This is minus omega 2, so this will be plus omega 2 and plus k del by del x of this, that is omega 3 minus del by del of this. So it will be omega 3 plus omega 3. So these are the values. So note it down. So you can see that the curl we have calculated, this is equal to twice of this. So curl V is twice of omega, or the angular velocity of rotation is half of curl V. So this is the physical significance of curl and used for the purpose of making calculations in rotational flow. And we know that if curl of a vector is 0, it means that the vector is called irrotational or conservative. Now for a flow to be irrotational, it means that the particles are having only rotational velocity, only linear velocity, no rotational velocity. That is, they are moving along their path in streamlines having linear velocity, maybe having 1, 2 or 3 components, maybe having variation with respect to space and or time, that is either space or time or both of them, steady or unsteady flow, but the rotation is 0, omega is 0. That means curl of this total velocity vector V must be equal to 0. So this is the physical significance of the curl, and in that case if it is irrotational, then I can write omega is 0, that means grad cross V is 0. So this is the physical significance of curl. So note it down please. Now we are going to discuss the curl of a vector. Why do we need to discuss curl of a vector? I will also discuss what is the physical meaning of curl. You should be knowing what is the physical meaning of divergence. So here I am discussing only the physical meaning of curl. So curl I am going to discuss because in discussing the rotational flow or irrotational flow, we need this. Rotation means, suppose the fluid particles are flowing in such a way, rotational flow I will be discussing afterwards. I am just giving you an introduction. This is the path of the fluid, a streamline. Now the fluid particles are moving in such a way that despite besides of having the 3 velocity components, this is the total velocity u, v and w, this is velocity v, they are having another component which is called rotational, the angular velocity. So the particle is moving in such a way that it is having linear motion and also it is moving or rotating about an axis simultaneously, about any axis, x, y or z, or maybe or more than one axis. So this is called the rotational flow. Now you must have experienced this type of flow if you have seen that during a flow like in a river or a canal or anywhere else, or also in washing machine. When the fluid is flowing, that is there is rotation, it is called vortex. So when it is rotating, so the particles are having the linear velocity along a circle, and along with this they all are having rotational motion about their vertical axis at the same place. So this is called rotational flow. And you must have seen that the eddies are formed during this type of flow. Suppose in a river the water is flowing and there is, suppose this is the fluid flow. When the fluid is flowing over this bed, it will steadily flow. That is, the flow may be steady or unsteady. Generally the flow is unsteady. So it will flow, and suppose the bed is of this type. So this is a hole or some depth during the passage of the fluid. So fluid which is flowing over this, it will enter this, and as a result the particles will start to rotate, having rotational motion about this axis. So this is called the rotational flow. Now we are restricted here only for the discussion of curl of a vector. And you know that for a vector, suppose I take any vector f. This is having the component, so let me write in place of this omega. This is the angular velocity of the flow at any time. So this is having the components omega x, omega y, and omega z in the three directions. So I can write the curl of omega. This is equal to grad cross f. And this is I del over del x plus j del over del y plus k del over del z, and cross product of this is with omega xi, omega y, j plus omega z. This is how we define the curl, and if you calculate its value, then curl omega is equal to, let us calculate its value, I, j, k, del by del x, del by del y, del by del z, omega x, omega y, and omega z. So we can calculate its value, and this is equal to I del omega z by del y minus del omega y by del z plus j. Actually this is minus, so minus j into this minus this into this. So if I write plus, I can write del omega x by del z minus del omega z by del x, and the third term is k into del omega y by del x minus del omega x by del y. So this is the expression for curl of a vector field. Here we have taken the vector field as the angular acceleration, the angular velocity of rotation of the fluid particles. And you know that whenever there is rotational motion, suppose this is the path of a particle having rotational motion, so it will be having the linear velocity tangential to this path in the same plane as this circle v, and the angular velocity will be in this direction as per this rule, thumb rule. So this is the angular velocity and this is the linear velocity. So this is the meaning of curl, and after this we will be discussing the physical importance of the curl. So these velocities which I have written here, these three, they show the how they can be used to calculate the type of vorticity. Now I am just using this term here, need not worry about this. You need not explain what is the actual meaning of this, as this is not in your syllabus, but these terms, they are used as far as your exam is concerned. So after this we will be discussing what is the physical meaning of this for the purpose of finding the rotational flow. So note it down please. Now we have a question. The velocity vector at any point in a flowing fluid, that is the total velocity v, is given by this 4xqy minus 10x square yj plus 2tk. Now we have to find the acceleration of the fluid at the point, these are space coordinates 2, 1, 3, and at t equal to 1 second. Time here is measured in second and the distance is measured in any unit like millimeter, meter, etc. So t is equal to 1 and space coordinates are 2, 1 and 3. We have to find the acceleration. Now you know that this is equal to ui plus vj plus wk. So from this I can write u equal to 4x cube v velocity in y direction is minus 10 x square y, and w is 2t. So see, u and v are dependent on space coordinates, x and y only. There is no z coordinate. It means that this is a problem of two-dimensional fluid flow. W is dependent on time, not on space. So it means that this is unsteady flow, unsteady two-dimensional fluid flow problem. Now we have to write the value of acceleration. So we know that the acceleration in x direction, this is u del u divided by del x. This shows the convective acceleration plus v del u by del y plus w del u by del z plus del u by del t. This can also be written as du by dt in the limit. So similarly, you can write the terms for y and z direction for acceleration and then find the values using these equations. So I will calculate this. So del u by del x. Derivative of u with respect to x, this is 12x square, and this is not a function of y and z. So del u by del y equal to 0, del u by del z equal to 0. Then del v by del x, this is a function of x and y. So this is minus 20xy, and del v by del z equal to 0. Similarly, calculate for w. Del w by del x, del w by del y, del w by del z, all are equal to 0. Not a function of x, y and z, but a function of time. Del w by del t is equal to 2. Whereas del u by del t equal to del v by del t, they are equal to 0. Not a function of time. Now you can put the values in this equation. So ax comes out to be u, that is 4x cube, into del u by del x, 12x square, plus v minus 10x square y into del u by del y, 0, plus w 2t into del u by del z, 0, plus del u by del t, 0. So ax is equal to this. If you put the values of x, y and z, that is 2, 1, 3 and t is equal to 1. In this equation, x equal to 2, y equal to 1, there is no z in it. If there is z, you will put z equal to 3, and here time t equal to 1. This is 0, so no need to put. So ax at these points 2, 1, 3 and t equal to 1, you will get this as 1536 units. Similarly, make calculations for ay using the formula which I have discussed previously. That is u del v by del x plus v del v by del y plus w del v by del z. So if you put the values in this, you get 4x cube u del v divided by del x and del v by del x. V is this. So this is minus 20x into y plus next term is v del v by del y minus 10 x square y into del v divided by del y, which is minus 10 x square plus v w del v by del z. So v is not a function of z, So this term becomes 0. W del V by del Z. So 2t into 0 plus del V divided by del T. This is not a function of time, 0. Now putting the values in this for x equal to 2, y1, z3 and time t equal to 1, you get the acceleration in y direction as equal to 320 units. Units here mean the appropriate units, that is meter per second square or millimeter per second square, whatever it is. Similarly, make calculations for AZ using the same formula. U del W by del X, del W by del X is 0. This is not a function of space. Plus, next term is V del W by del Y, 0. Plus W del W by del Z, 0. Plus del W divided by del T. This is a function of time. And differentiate this, del W by del T is equal to 2 plus 2. So this is 2 units. These are the values of the accelerations. So we can write the acceleration is given by A equal to total acceleration is AXI 1536I plus AY 320J plus AZ 2K. And you can find the magnitude of this under root of AX square plus AY square plus AZ square. That will be the total acceleration, and the answer is around 1569 units. Magnitude of A is 1536 square, 320 square plus square of 2, around 1569 units. So this is how we calculate the acceleration of a fluid flowing at any time. So note it down, please.